Now, we need to talk about one of Soroban's most important and innovative features, how it handles storage and fees. This might sound dry, but it's actually fascinating and solves a critical problem in blockchain design. Every blockchain faces a fundamental challenge called state bloat. Here's the issue. Blockchains store data permanently. Every transaction, every contract, every piece of data gets recorded and stays there forever. Over time, this creates an ever growing database that becomes increasingly expensive to maintain. Ethereum, for example, has faced this problem. Once you pay to store data on Ethereum, it stays there forever. All nodes must maintain that data. This creates a tragedy of the commons. Users don't bear the ongoing cost of the data storage, so they have no incentive to clean it up. Soroban takes a radically different approach. They use what we call the rent-based model. Soroban introduces a rent-based storage model. Storage is not on Stella is not free. This isn't a limitation, it's an intentional design decision to ensure ledger state doesn't grow uncontrollably. Developers only pay for what they use and network sustainability is maintained. Let me break down how it works. Storage cost depends on three factors. The type of storage, there's temporary, there's persistence, and then instant storage. The amount of data stored measured in bytes, and the duration, how long the data remains on the ledger. There are two main fee categories. First is resource fee. These cover CPU instructions, memory usage, and storage rights. You pay these when your contract executes. And then there's the ledger rent. This is the ongoing cost of occupying ledger space. Think of it like renting an apartment. You pay monthly to occupy that space. Three, there's there's three different type of storage, and I'm gonna go into it right now. Let's dive deep into the three storage types. This is crucial for understanding how to build cost-effective application of Soroban. First, there's the temporary storage, which is the cheapest. Temporary storage is designed for short-lived data. According to the according to what you see here, there's different characteristics. It has the lowest storage rent cost. It automatically expires after a defined TTL, which is the time to live. It does not require long-term ledger footprint. It's perfect for price oracles, session-based data, intermediate computation results, or time-sensitive state. When you pay for temporary storage, you pay for writing the data and the storage rent for its lifetime. After expiration, the data is automatically removed and no further rent is charged. This is ideal for data that becomes irrelevant after a period. For example, if you're building a prediction market, the odds for a specific bet only matter until the event occurs. After that, the data can expire. Second, persistent storage, which is more expensive. Persistent storage keeps data long term. Its characteristics: it has a higher rent cost than temporary storage. It must be renewed periodically to prevent expirations. It contributes permanently to ledger footprint. It's best for balances, ownership records, long term contract state, and governance data. When you use persistent storage, you pay for writing the data, ongoing rent, and renewing TTL, time to live, to extend lifetime. If rent is not renewed, the data may expire and requires restoration fees to recover. This creates an incentive to actively maintain only data that's actually needed. Finally, instant storage. There's also instant storage, which is a specialized form of persistent storage tied directly to the contract instance. It has the same brand model, has persistent storage with limited storage size. It's designed for essential contract metadata like admin addresses, configuration values, and immutable parameters. Now let's talk about time to live, TTL. Every storage entry has a TTL. For temporary storage, this means a shorter TTL. For persistent storage, this means a longer TTL that must be renewed. If TTL expires, data is archived and restoration requires additional fee. So, why does Stellar use rent based model instead of one time fees? This is a design philosophy question. Some blockchains charge a one-time fee and store data forever. Soroban uses rent because permanent storage is expensive. Someone has to maintain servers running nodes with all that data. And two, it prevents state bloat. Data that no longer needed naturally expires. Three, it encourages efficient contract design. Developers minimize unnecessary storage. And four, it keeps the network sustainable long term. Ongoing costs are covered by ongoing payments. So, according to Stellar's documentation on resource limits and fees, this model ensures the network remains sustainable as it scales. So, now let's talk about the cost determination factors. So, what determines the exact cost? So the number of bytes stores, the number of ledger entries cached, the duration, TTL, CPU instruction used, memory usage, and ledger read write operation. So here are the best practice for cost optimization. Use temporary storage whenever possible. If data doesn't need to persist long term, don't pay for persistent storage. Two, minimize storage writes. Each write costs resources. Three, avoid large data structures. Store only what's absolutely necessary. Four, store hashes instead of full objects when possible. A 32-byte hash is cheaper than a multi-kilobyte object. Five, delete unused storage. Proactively clean up data you no longer need. And six, keep contract logic efficient. Optimize your code to use fewer CPU instructions. So let me give you a real world example. Let's say you're building a decentralized exchange. You need to store trading pairs. For that, you use persistent storage because the data is needed long term. You also need current prices. For that, you use temporary storage because price change frequently and old prices are needed. And third, user order history. For this, you use persistent storage because user need to see the history. Temporary computation result during trade execution. For that, you need temporary storage because it's only needed during execution. So by choosing the appropriate storage type for each piece of data, you minimize cost while maintaining functionality. The rent-based model might seem complex at first, but it actually creates a healthier ecosystem. It ensures that the network remains fast and sustainable. Developers think carefully about their storage needs and users don't utilize or don't subsidize unused data storage.